everybody. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me this morning. Welcome if you're a new viewer, and welcome back if you're an old-time subscriber to this channel. My name is Caroline, and I've got lots more Flosstube goodness to share with you today. I recorded a little video yesterday. I decided to add something a little fun to the whole off-the-grid Friday party atmosphere that happens on the weekend, and I recorded a video and I'm calling it High Tea. So off the grid Needlearts Sunday High Tea, and that, just like high tea, which is supposed to be a treat. Now, I believe there are a few different definitions of high tea, and I believe the proper term for the sort of fancy thing that you have at a hotel with desserts and scones and proper poured tea is called afternoon tea. And I believe high tea referred originally to the time of day when the working class in Britain would have their dinner, which they now call supper, which we call supper. It's all very confusing. Anyways, most people in North America who think of high tea, we think of it as something quite special that you have once in a while and you pay a lot of money for at a nice fancy hotel. So it should be a treat, it should be fancy. And so I am attributing the sort of feeling that we get when we have a new start and we're super excited to start as a treat, right? So once a month, at the end of each month, the last Sunday of every month, I'm going to record a very short video, and I'm going to allow myself a new start once a month at the end of the month, and that's going to be my high tea. And I hope that you'll join me if you're into that. So that means 12 new starts for me this year, and I'm okay with that. I tend to love large projects, so a good portion of these new starts are going to be large-scale projects, and I'm okay with that too, because most of them are in my stash already. This will not require me to buy a lot of new things to already start these projects. So that's why this podcast is called From the Stash Pile. I have a substantial stash. I would like to use it. So I am going to use this as a way for me to celebrate that I'm going to start these new things, and I hope you'll join me. Like I said, there's a short little video that I put out yesterday, and the other part to high tea is that I'm also going to include a giveaway. There is a prize to be won once a month, and it is going to be donated by myself and my business partner, my sister-in-law Kathy, our sewing business Evertote, as well as my local needle workshop Thread and I. And so we are going to be offering this monthly giveaway, and I hope that you find it fun. A lot of people have joined the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. I think I might have been a little bit unclear yesterday as to how to enter the draw. So very quickly, I'm just going to repeat and hopefully clear up any confusion that there might be. I recognize, and I think we all should recognize, that not everybody is on Facebook or Instagram or is able to easily leave a comment on YouTube. So each of these monthly draws, they're going to take turns where I put the draw. So if you are not on Facebook and you have no desire to be on Facebook, then this month you will not be entering the draw. Next month, the draw is going to be on Instagram, and the month after that, the draw will take place here on YouTube in the comments below. So if you have left me a comment below, or you have left me a comment on Instagram on my Evertote page with the request that I had, I asked everybody to answer a question in order to be entered in the draw. You will not be entered in the draw unless you have left me a message over on Facebook. So that's the first part of the confusing nature of this. The second part is you need to request to join the Facebook group if you're not already a member. It's called Friday Off the Grid. We have over 1,000 members now, And it's one of the nicest groups I've ever been a part of. Everybody is so kind and encouraging, and the stitching is amazing. So if you haven't joined already, I think you'd love it. It is the only thing that I do on Facebook is that group. That's it. I love it. And so you request to join. It's a closed group. Once you're in, I have pinned the post to the top of the group. If you're on your phone, you just scroll right to the top of that group and you'll see view pinned post. You click on that, and the post that I put on the group yesterday that has a link to the video to watch, right there underneath that post where there's a link to the video, and I actually say in the comment field above that, I say, here's where you leave your comment. There's a list, there's already at least 200 people in there that have left their comment, their answer to the question. That's where you need to put your answer to that question that I asked you yesterday in the video. If you haven't done that, I have been trying to catch everybody that I can who put the answer in a different place. I've really tried hard to tell you where to go and find it. And also, this group, have you guys ever, been driving down the road and seen either a daycare or a kindergarten class or a group of young children that are obviously being led down the sidewalk by their teacher? There's usually an adult in front and there's usually an adult in back. And then the kids who are in the middle, they're generally either holding hands, and they're all in a long row and they're holding hands, or they're all holding onto a rope, or they're all, sort of being pulled together. Maybe they're connected by a ropes, around their waist, and each child is attached to each other. I think that is the most fantastic imagery for humanity that I can possibly imagine. I want us all to imagine that we are all those children and we are all attached together, holding hands, or we're all attached by a rope. And if you see someone who is fumbling or stepping out of line, or maybe their rope's not tied on tight enough, let's bring them back in. And so if you see someone who has left their comment in the wrong place, if you could please leave them a very kind message and point them in the right direction, that would really help me out as well, because this group is growing exponentially faster than I ever expected. And I'm struggling a little bit to keep up with the amount of social media that's inundated my life lately. It's amazing. I love it. I would not trade it for the world, but it is a lot. And I'm worried that I'm going to miss something. So if you've left me a question, if you've left me a comment, make sure you tag me if you need me to answer it. If I don't answer it within 48 hours, I've probably missed it. You can private message me through Facebook. That's fine. I generally am able to get those and see them quite easily. If it's important, obviously, don't private message me just to say, hey, how are you? Because it's a lot. The other thing is, I do not accept private friend requests on Facebook. And that is not because I don't like you or I don't want to be your friend. It's only because I don't use Facebook for anything else. So there is absolutely no point in me being friends with anyone else other than in the group. I am your friend in the group, and that's where we need to communicate, because I don't communicate with anyone else outside of that group. Really, that's all I'm using it for. So if you have requested to be my friend on Facebook, I have had to kind of leave those requests and let them lie fallow, because there's no way for me to respond to you other than, tracking down your information and messaging you privately. And I hope you can understand, and I really hope I haven't offended anyone. It's not done intentionally. It's just that I am trying to keep up with everything, because man, is it fun. It's so fun. Okay, so I hope that's cleared up any questions. Just a little reminder, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, these are the prizes that are up for this month's giveaway. It's a Lizzie Kate Giggle Boxer and a Notions pouch made by me by Evertotes. So go watch Sunday's video if you haven't already, because I think it's going to be fun. Okay, I have one more little bit of newsy bit or information to share before I move on to show and tell today. And that is, now just because if I don't answer you within 48 hours doesn't mean I'm not thinking about questions that you've asked me and trying to answer them when I can. A while back, we talked about Miss Patty, the house tour that I did at Miss Patty's house. That is episode 16. In case you're looking for it and you haven't seen it already, it's really worth a watch because her house is amazing. It's a stitcher's dream, really. She had a design downstairs, a Halloween design that she had stitched on a large scale that was an owl in a pumpkin patch. And I know someone had requested where that pattern was from. And I had said that I would ask Miss Patty and get back to them. I did ask Miss Patty. She could not remember. And then I forgot to get back to that person and tell them that she didn't know where it was. And well, fast forward a couple of months and, 10,000 emails and messages later, and I have misplaced the person who was asking for that information. So I hope you're watching because I found which magazine it is. So the design that Miss Patty stitched was actually found on the cover. There's the owl in the pumpkin patch, and this is from Just Cross Stitch and Needlework, September 2012. So September 2012, Cross Stitch and Needlework. And the reason I found this is because this is my copy, and it happened to be in a pile of magazines that I was sorting through to find out which ones I wanted to continue to keep. And sadly for you all, this one I actually want to keep. So I'm not actually offering this as a giveaway. But in case you can track down this magazine or maybe find a back issue or stash unload, or I don't know how people go about finding these extra old issues. However, I hope that gives you the information to track it down. So once again, September 2012, Cross Stitch and Needlework, and it was the design right on the cover, easy peasy. Now what she did was, if you don't remember, she did it on a piece of natural, really large fabric, like her pillows are made on, and then she filled in the black with DMC. So that was all fill in that she did, whereas the design on the cover uses black Aida. But I don't know about you, I don't really enjoy working on black fabric, and so I thought that was quite brilliant. And it gave it quite a nice look because, of course, as we know, when you stitch black on, a natural colored background, you are going to see a little bit of flecks of color come through that black background. But I thought it quite suited the design, and I thought she did quite a great job because, well, it's Miss Patty and she's awesome. So that's it for newsy bits at the beginning. Now I'm going to get right into show and tell because I have something really special to share with you today. So my show and tell is just, it actually is an FO that was not stitched by me. This was stitched by a piano student of mine, and her name is Paige, and she brought this to me a few weeks ago. So I'm going to show you first. Are you ready? Ta-da! Paige is, I believe she's 12 or 13 now, and she is one of the most lovely girls. She and her sister Megan are a couple of wonderful girls who visit me every week, and they've been coming for a few years now. And Paige came to her lesson a few weeks ago, and she said, I have something for you. This was supposed to be your Christmas gift, but I left it at school over the holidays and she wasn't able to get it to me in time. And they learned they worked on this in school, and it's a piano keyboard. And she said, I knew you would love it, and it's a bookmark. And she finished it, and it's for me. Isn't it sweet? You see, they're watching, aren't they? They know what we're doing, and they're interested. And she knew I would love it. And I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite Christmas gifts from a student that I've received yet. So it's a treasure. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for letting me share. And thank you, Paige. I love it. So that's my show and tell. And I'm gonna get right into whips because I have a fair bit to share. I am working, I started 2 new things last week. I know I talked about the Sunday start yesterday, but I actually also started another small piece this week that I am stitching for someone else. And this is a small design, and so it's actually really quite nice for me to have a newer, very small design on the go because it's very portable and I can keep it and tuck it in my purse and I can take it with me in the car. It's one of those things. It's also quite a simple design, so I can work on it whenever. It's a bit of a palette cleanser, if you will, from the enormous projects that are my other whips that I'm working on at the moment. So this is a piece by Elaine Gurak Needlework Designs. And her company is called Hand Blessings. And this is from the Silhouette series. And you may find this familiar because my niece Clara was stitching a similar pattern by the same designer, which was the little girl with the Easter basket with the tulips in the corner. So this one is very similar. It's a very similar design. It's a silhouette. It's a little boy. And it's just so sweet. Very, very sweet. And so this is what I've started this week. And here's mine so far. As you can tell, little blue blob in the middle. Not very much. But that's really, you know, I've only put a few threads in there. But at least I've started. That's his hand. So that's that right there. So I'm in the middle. And I'm using, it's a 28 count natural linen in lamb's wool. That's the fabric. And I can tell you, this stuff is stiff, 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 which I don't love. However, it's kind of nice to stitch on because it's easy. It's not flexible at all. But I do love having it in the Q-snap. I snipped off the corners because they were practically giving me a rope burn every time they rubbed my hands. So that's my start, and I'm using DMC 826. So I thought it looked quite nice on that fabric. So DMC 826. That's my first whip, also a new start. My next whip, oh, this is good. And everybody has seen this because I've, you know, inundated Facebook and Instagram because I love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's my Northern Expressions Needlework Shades of Wine. So this is where I was. This was about how much I had done, approximately. No, wait, there. I gave away. And then I stitched over, and I got all the way to the other corner. And I finished that butterfly, finally. So I am thrilled to bits with this progress. I'm also thrilled that I finally have it on my stretcher bars on my lap frame because, well, it's just so much easier for me. Look, I can peek through here. It's so much easier for me to stitch on scroll frames than it is on a Q-snap. And I know lots of people love Q-snaps. I'm not a huge fan for these big projects. For small projects, I love them. But for big projects, I want to move fast. And for me, moving fast means 2 hands. And so the scroll rods allow me to just go to town. Zip, zip, zip. 1 hand on top, 1 hand on the bottom, and then I can really move a lot faster. So Northern Expressions Needlework, Shades of Wine. Super thrilled with my progress. And in fact, I'm so thrilled with my progress, I'm actually going to keep this on the go for 1 more week, because I'd love to see how much more I can complete by next week. So that's that one. And last but not least, prepare to be both overwhelmed and underwhelmed by this next one, because you're going to be overwhelmed at the absolute enormity of both the stand and the fabric and the amazing expanse of naked linen that has no stitching in it. And completely overwhelmed with the enormity of the scale of project that I'm taking on. So, oh, underwhelmed. I already said overwhelmed. Underwhelmed by the amount that I have done. This is very little. So just a reminder, Prairie Schooler, I started it. I started the A. So I'm up in the corner and I'm doing this in order, and I'm doing it all on one piece of fabric. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, so this is embarrassing. This is a big, 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 big frame. So here's the bottom corner of it. There's the start of the fabric, and it's gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. I'm not done yet. Are you ready? Oh, there it is. There's my progress. Look at that, teeny weeny. So, isn't that ridiculous? So this is a Kay's Creation frame, and I have 3 of these lap frames. One of them stays at the cottage, 2 of them are here, and I use them every day, just like I use my floor frame every day. This one has, I've been able to add this stand into my rotation, and it makes it easy for me to flip back and forth between projects, because as you can see, this is ready to go. Northern Expressions Needleworks is ready to go. And then I keep my other projects mostly on scroll rods, and then I'll just switch out the scroll rods on my frame. So it makes it nice and quick and easy. So as you can see, what I have started here is the compass that's at the top of the A. Right there. So, no, that's not going to focus. Anyways, fascinating, isn't it? The compass. Not even the whole compass did I manage to finish to show you today. But that, sewing the fabric to the stretcher bars, as well as getting my floss organized, took a long time yesterday. So it took a lot longer than I expected. So that's why I didn't really have a lot of time to put in many stitches. However, I fully intend to continue working on this week. I have a feeling this is going to live on my kitchen table. I tried to stitch in bed with this last night, and I had to put one end on my lap and I had to put the other end on top of a pillow because John was still downstairs. And so I put the other side of it on a pillow, and I was able to actually stitch in bed. But I looked at myself and I thought, yeah, if your husband walks in the room right now and sees you doing that in bed, he's going to think you've lost your mind. So I'm going to put it on the kitchen table this afternoon, and maybe it can stay there for this week. We'll see. Anyway, so I'm gonna struggle here to put this down beside me so that it can stay out of the way while I finish talking to you. So that's it for me for whips, and I showed my show and tell for today. So all that's left is shop update. I have a little shop update today to share with you. My shop, you can find us on Etsy, evertote.com. You can also just type in directly www.evertote.com. Now our Instagram page has an S on the end of it. It is at evertotes. However, the business name, there is no S on the end. It's a long story. When I went to take the Instagram account, Evertote was already taken. Oddly enough, it doesn't seem to be being used by anyone, but it was taken. However, putting an S on the end meant that we could have that. So that's why there's a slight difference there. So my personal Instagram account is at Off the Grid Needlearts, in case you want to check out my page. So I have a couple of cross stitch totes to show you that I've got up in the shop. There's still a few sets up, 1 or 2 sets up that I showed last week. This is red floral. The reason why I like to have these shop updates as part of my Monday update, and really, if you're not interested in this, if you don't plan to buy a bag, turn it off. Happy stitching. I'll see you on Friday. The reason I do this is because it's a lot easier for me to show you the quality of the bag and the colors on camera most of the time, because it's a really gray, snowy day today. So the colors are pretty close. They're not as good as they are going to be in real life, but they're a lot closer than what you can see on the Etsy listing. Sometimes that is really a struggle for me, to have the photography show how nice the bag is in real life. The lining for this is a really fun cameo pin style with the female and male bust, the bust of the head. And I love these. So these are mediums. That's all the fabric I had left, was to make 2 mediums, because I was hoping to make a large. There's a matching Notions pouch that goes with this. Okay, so I have 2 of those, and I have one of these. This is a true denim on the bottom. It's gorgeous. I love it. I want to make a pair of jeans out of this stuff. It's just delicious. Can you see the texture on there? So that's a denim. And then the liner, this is fun. I did something a little different. I put the chevron on the inside. I thought that was sweet. This one also comes with a matching Notions pouch. I love that. So I actually have more of this fabric. I have the fabric to make this set in a large size. So that I will be posting this in a large. This is a medium, which fits an 8x11 or an 8-inch square. I have cut out, and I will be making this week, the large size, which fits an 11 square, an 11-inch square, or an 8x11 or an 8x8, whatever you want. So some people prefer the large size. If you know you want the large size and you see this video and I haven't posted it yet, let me know, and I can either make another one or anything like that. I had a couple of requests, or people wanted to know whether I ever made for 11x17 inch Q-snap size. We do. We have made them before, and we can make them. The reason I don't stock them all the time on the shop is because they're not as popular. They're not as popular a size. The most popular size is the medium, which is the 8x11, you know, the 2 sets that I've shown you. That's the most popular size. Also the same with the wedge totes that we sell. The most popular size is the medium. So when you're trying to stock the shop for what is most likely to sell, I have to be cognizant of, you know, what is most likely going to sell first, because when you're trying to gauge what people like, fabric choices, things like that, it's really difficult, because if I stocked the shop with 10 11x17s, maybe only 2 of them would sell. And so I have to pay every time I list something on Etsy. So it's kind of a bit of a guessing game when you list something. Is someone going to like this? Is someone going to like this enough to buy this in the next 3 months, so that I haven't, you know, posted something and paid to list something that isn't going to sell? So yes, we make the 11x17 size. They are more expensive because more fabric, more time to make them, longer zip, which is more expensive. However, they're more of a custom thing. If you know you want one and you know you want to purchase one, message me. Feel free to message me at any time through Etsy. I will always discuss custom orders. I will always discuss, you know, different fabrics. I can send you pictures if you know there's something that you like. For now, we are offering custom orders. We're starting to get a little bit busy, so that may eventually stop, and we may start to stock the 11x17 size more regularly on the shop once they sell more consistently, or if a lot of people are asking for them. So I have a couple of wedge totes to share today as well, because they're just so cute. And just so you know, these fit an 8-inch square Q-snap perfectly. So if you've looked at the wedge totes on the site and you thought, oh, well, those are just for knitters, they're not just for knitters. They fit an 8-inch square Q-snap with all your threads and your pattern perfectly. They also, there's plenty of room in there if you're a travel stitcher, if you take your stuff in the car, if you work on a lot of ornaments, if you work on, you know, other smalls, and you work in the car a lot, you can put a snack in there as well, provided it's, you know, not going to leak. I wouldn't put anything wet in there, not with your stitching. So that's the birdie, which I love. Last week I had some of the cross stitch totes in that fabric. I have a London, UK bag, which I think is super cute. I think I called this the Sassy Pants bag because it made me laugh. I try to, you know, keep things fun, keep things light. And this one, a lot of people expressed interest in this sort of barn board fabric, which is beautiful. I love it. Now, Lisa, if you're watching this and I forget to answer you again, we are out of this fabric now. I'm very sorry. So in case I can't find your message where you asked me about that, this is now gone. What we have in the shop is what is left. There's one wedge tote with a matching notions pouch, and then 3 more medium wedge totes, just the bag. That's the lining fabric there. Super cute. It's just a beautifully modern fabric, which I love. Sorry, I didn't show you the inside of the London bag. So this is pretty. So there's, again, that's the London bag, and that's the liner. So all of our bags use cotton bat, quilting bat on the inside. It's an 80-20, 80 cotton, 20 polyester. They wash beautifully. Not that we've ever, you know, really had, you know, I haven't dragged one through a mud pile or something in order to test it out, but it's an all natural bag. There's no interfacing, there's no glue that's been ironed in. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just a different style of bag. It has a slightly different hand feel to it. So everything's top stitched. What else do you want to know about the bags? So you can see zippers are top stitched. There's no exposed seams on the inside. Wedge totes have a tab on the side. Some of our wedge totes have a strap instead. Really depends on the mood that we're in when we're making that particular bag. We like to keep things interesting. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. I hope that you find some time today and in the week ahead to stitch. I hope that you'll join us on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. And it's Monday, but I tell you, I am so looking forward to Friday already, and I can't wait to stitch with you all next weekend. So happy stitching, everyone. See you Friday. Bye-bye.